The Western Road trees. Ash, sycamore, plane, lime, trees that have stood the test of time, a memorial to those who paid the highest cost, planted to remember young lives lost, bearing witness to life's marching beat, a breath of fresh air to polluted streets, a home for wildlife, a joy to the eye, a living link to generations gone by. Now they are threatened, the people they come, from near and from far, the old and the young, with music and poems, with wreaths and with art. The lost boys and their trees are dear to our hearts. These trees are not ours to fell and destroy, only to love, cherish, pass on and enjoy. Standing tall, lest we forget, don't make a decision we'll all regret.
My name's Rob McBride. I'm a tree hunter from Shropshire. I've been involved with Sheffield street trees for 2 years now, I suppose. So we're here today after I invited Dan to come and paint some of the trees in August. We've set up this Draw the Living War Memorial, i.e. these official war memorial trees. And as you can see from the street, it's been full today of people coming to paint after we had paid our respects and to the memory of the boys who went to the school, Westway School, which is just over there. So it's been a fantastic success today with Dan doing his paintings, and it's just totally inspired hundreds of people to get out there and paint the trees.
Thank you very much. So why do you think the council are chopping down these trees?
The main driver, I think, for a lot of the fellings is finance, financial penalties if they don't meet targets, a badly thought out tree policy in the first place, lack of tree maintenance over many years, 20, 30 years perhaps. So a combination of things, but mainly the main driver is finance.
How could the trees on Western Road be saved, Dave?
Simply by utilising what ex-head of highway engineering Steve Robinson told us at the second Highway Trees Advisory Forum. I believe that was September 2015. He told us there were 14 engineering solutions that came at no extra cost whatsoever to the taxpayer, so they're actually written into the contract. Included within those engineering solutions are things like flexi-pave, leaving curbstones out, thinner profiling curbs, ramping up to a certain level. None of these solutions have been used anywhere in Sheffield, with the exception of thinner profile curbs in literally a handful of locations, and on one, I think, Snathing Lane in Ranmoor, where they omitted the curbstone around an oak tree altogether. These are actually written into the contract. Why aren't they being used? It beggars belief that they continue to tell us that these things are going to come at a huge extra cost to the taxpayer. They've made two very conflicting statements. In fact, they've made two statements that are polar opposites of each other. They both can't be right. And if it turns out that they do come at an extra cost, then someone where I took Sheffield City Council to court, Dillner v Sheffield City Council, they perjured themselves. They committed perjury. Their barrister told Justice Gilbert that these alternative solutions were free. So there you have it.
Now I wonder why it has to happen this way. When Sheffield City Council and Amy got together one day, people were running and the trees were trying to hide. And everyone got together, they couldn't be satisfied. Whoa, Amy. Whoa, leave this town. a lot of people wondering where the trees can be found. Now I wonder why it has to happen this way, so people can come together and celebrate trees every day, because we love what they do. They clean our air, they're good for our mental health, and that's why we care. Waiting, please leave this town. You know you left a lot of people wondering where our trees can be found. Now they're out in force. They got the cameras and phones, and they're collecting pictures, and they're following everybody home. Some people they're going to take to court, and some people I'll never find. But I know what's true. They're wasting a shitload of time. Please leave this town.
Fly from the trees, watch the blackbird as she flees. Will you make this slaughter cease? Don't cut us down, 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 don't cut us down. Some harmonies would be nice. There are many help our cause to oppose the deadly sores, yet you stop them with your laws and cut us down, 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 and cut us down. When this council's had its way, and the street is bare and grey, we won't forget the day you cut us down, 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 you cut us down, you cut us down, 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 you cut us down. Plant new trees, plant new trees, plant new trees, plant new trees, but keep the old. One is gold, one is silver, and the other's gold. Keep the old, but one is silver, and the other's gold. Plant new trees to keep the old, but one is silver.
Alan Story. I live on Western Road. I also work on the No Stump City project, which in fact wants to engage in independent political action to try and save the trees. Now, I moved to this street a year and a half ago. Wasn't the only reason I moved to Western Road was because of the trees, but it was certainly one reason. And about 2 months after I moved here, I suddenly found out that in fact they were planning to cut down 23 of these trees that were planted in 1919 to remember people who died in World War I. I think they're lovely trees, and perhaps you'll get some footage of them. This isn't the best time of year to see them, but I think they in fact should be saved like other healthy trees in Sheffield. If they're damaged, if they're dead, they're diseased, then in fact they should be cut down. No one's arguing that, but these are healthy trees. And in fact, the only reason they're being cut down is because maybe the roots go out 2 inches into the road, or wherever the equivalent is in centimeters. That's not a reason to cut down a tree. It's sort of like saying to somebody, you know what, I see you've got a hangnail down there, let's amputate the knee. And this is the kind of logic that they have, which is to in fact pick on these things, or that the trees are raising up the pavement, and therefore that's against disabled people. That's a bunch of crap. You know, I mean, as if Sheffield City Council were the big defenders of the disabled. They aren't. They're just using these things as excuses to, in fact, try and save the profits of Amy.